So what's the best thing about living in Dubai in one word?
Security.
And are you going to live in Dubai forever?
Yes.
California or Dubai? Where is your dream house?
Dubai.
The one thing Americans get wrong about Dubai.
That it's scary, because it's not.
Would you ever give up your Canadian passport?
I would never give up my Canadian passport.
Being an Canadian, what do you miss?
I miss nature. I do miss the nature of Canada.
Good morning, guys. So today's guest is someone who is actually a Canadian citizen but has spent half of her life in the US, California, and has recently moved to Dubai. So this can be somehow shocking for a lot of people because you don't see a lot of Americans and Canadians who are actually moving from Canada or US all the way to Dubai, and there must be a lot of reasons. In this video, we are actually going to dive deep into this, like why people are moving all the way from US and Canada to Dubai, and why a lot of people still are like skeptical why they can or cannot. And this video should actually just answer all end-to-end questions or doubts within all of those people who are actually planning to move or deciding to move or just thinking whether they should move or not to Dubai. So this video should be able to give them the complete insights. So this video is brought to you by Notion, your all-in-one workspace for getting things done. Tired of juggling multiple apps for your tasks, notes and projects? Come on, don't. Just go ahead and install Notion. Link is below in the video description. So meet Notion, the ultimate productivity tool that brings everything together in one beautiful customizable space. So create stunning documents and wikis, manage projects with powerful databases, collaborate seamlessly with your team, build your own workflow systems, databases. Like you can use any kind of building blocks to, like you cannot even imagine what you can actually build with Notion. Like there are options what you cannot. So whether you are a student or professional or creator, Notion adapts to your needs. Start organizing your life better today. Click the link below in the video description to get started with Notion and receive 2 months free on any paid plans. So let's go ahead, start, and let's learn how exactly an American or a Canadian person can actually move all the way from Canada or US to Dubai successfully without any issues, and what are the pros and cons, everything we need to learn from this podcast. Let's start. Hello, morning. So how are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm awesome.
Perfect. So tell us something about yourself.
I'm Grayson, and I'm new to Dubai.
Very new, I believe.
Yes.
When did you move into Dubai?
Just over a year.
So you have already experienced one single summer.
I did. I made it through the summer.
So how did you like it?
You know, it's not bad, actually.
That's what I always keep on saying to everyone.
You know, your skin is lovely. Yeah, your hair gets really frizzy. But honestly, it's no different than when you live in Canada, let's say, and it's minus 40 outside.
Extremes.
Yeah, you don't go outside, right? You stay in your home. So it's kind of like here, you get used to being inside all the time.
Minus 40 and plus 45.
Yeah. So,
Extremes.
yeah.
Right to the
Same,
extremes.
same.
Because every time there is a debate like Dubai is bad, Canada is bad, people are like, okay, Canada is too cold.
Yeah.
Then again, at the same time, people are, oh, Dubai is too hot.
Yeah.
So, okay, there is always going to be pros and cons. You have to balance it, whatever you like.
Nothing is perfect.
So tell us about your journey. What brought you to Dubai from California or Canada? Where were you actually staying?
In California. So I was in California for 23 years.
Wow, okay.
But I was born and raised in Canada.
Which city?
Alberta, the province is Alberta.
Oh, Alberta,
But
yes.
from a very small town, kind of in central Alberta. I actually grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, my dad was a farmer, and yeah.
So after then you moved to Canada, California.
I moved to a bigger city in Alberta, and I was there, and then I moved to the US 2 weeks after 9/11. That was an interesting journey. So on a 737, I guess, from Calgary to Los Angeles, there was 7 of us on the plane.
Only 7.
Only 7 plus crew.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, airports were full of security. Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, so I was 23 years in the Palm Springs, Los Angeles area.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I have done that Los Angeles road trip from the Pacific coast.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I started driving. That was my first trip in the US.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in 2016, I believe, when I got my US visa.
Okay.
I went from Mumbai. I was staying in India.
Okay.
From Mumbai to Los Angeles. Took a car, started driving from Los Angeles, went all the way to San Francisco. Like the full round where I loved it. That was the first road trip in my life, and it was in the Pacific Coast.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. It's so
I
good.
mean, California is just incredible.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So, what do you love about California or Canada, Alberta?
It's two different things, apples and oranges. California is a whole different vibe. Canada, of course, like growing up very rural, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we had cattle, I had a horse, we had
Wow.
chickens, like dogs, cats, like
Farm life.
farm life,
Farm
right?
life.
Versus California, which is, very different. But both are equally amazing.
So, do you still have family in Canada or the US?
Yes.
Canada.
Family in Canada, friends in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what passport do you have then?
I'm Canadian.
Okay,
Yeah.
Canadian
So
passport.
Canadian passport.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you have a Canadian passport, are you still allowed to go to the US or
Yep.
do you need a special
I am
visa?
a permanent resident of the US,
Okay.
and that just gets renewed every 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do the Canadian citizens, do they need a special visa for the US to travel?
No, you can just go back and forth.
Okay. So, if I have a car in Canada, can I drive to the US and go back to Canada?
Yep.
Okay.
100%. Yep.
Oh, okay.
100%.
That's easier then because it's very tough to get the citizenship and passport in the US. But Canada, I believe it's like a lot of Indians have already got the passports, PR, citizenship.
Yes.
Now it's getting tough.
Yes.
But earlier it was like, you must have seen a lot of Indians are over there,
Yeah.
Toronto and all those stuff.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So which one do you like, the US or Canada?
That's a tough question. I mean, they both have their pluses and minuses. Unfortunately, North America is in such bad shape in general.
Why do you say so?
Just politically, the person in power in Canada.
And in terms of business?
Business in Canada has been decimated by, the prime minister. I mean, he's been running that country for 9 years, and it's not good. The crime
So where is it easy to run a business? Canada or US?
in Canada or US?
Yes.
I would say if you're a business owner, the best place is the United States of America.
Okay.
And a lot of businesses left Canada, and big companies are no longer investing in Canada. And until they change the prime minister, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
So how is it related to the prime minister and the business?
Because the prime minister is in control of the taxation, just the amount of crime that's going on in Canada, just the cost
Is it
of
really bad?
Oh, it's horrific. You might as well be living in LA.
Oh.
It's terrible. There was just a home invasion the other day in Toronto. Guy was beaten up, windows smashed, cars smashed. I mean, it's not good. Canada is not the country that I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
And same with Los Angeles. I mean, where I was living, Palm Springs is definitely a bubble, just like Dubai is a bubble. But any big city in America is not safe.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
So, and that's why I'm here.
And about the taxes, Canada and the US, is it the same or?
No, it's taxation in Canada is out of control. So capital gains in Canada is at 66%.
66.
66%.
Wow.
The United States, off the top of my head, I don't know what capital gains are at the moment because I've not been there.
And about the income tax?
Income tax for me, I was paying 49.5% in California.
US.
50%
goes to taxes.
Right.
Too high. Almost the same
Yeah.
in India.
And what do you get for that? Nothing. The roads are terrible. There's no safety. It's just, what are you paying all that money for?
Yes.
Like, there's no health care. You go to
healthcare, it's free, I believe, in the US and Canada both.
The misconception about the free healthcare in Canada is that, I mean, nothing is ever free. But let's say you do still have to pay a certain amount, like it's a low amount. Part of it will be covered by your company if you have a job. If you are unemployed, it will be covered by the province.
Okay.
But let's say you cut your hand and you need to go to the ER. You might sit there for 15 hours, 18 hours.
Dead.
Before you're ever seen. Cancer treatment is delayed. People die waiting for cancer treatment. And in fact, Canada right now is the #1 country on the planet where assisted suicide is happening. Medically assisted suicide, because the younger population, people in their 20s, have no hope, no jobs, education's too expensive, so they are literally taking the route of doing medically assisted suicide. It's all over TikTok. No joke.
That's
And the Prime Minister of Canada, since we're complaining about Canada, he passed a bill in Canada where the media is so controlled. So what is able to be viewed in Canada is controlled. Like, for instance, I will
same in
send,
India.
yeah, I will send my brother an Instagram video and he'll screenshot it and send it back and it will say unable to view or content not available or whatever.
So
So I will have to go through, screenshot it or download it, record it, send it to his WhatsApp. Otherwise, he can't see it.
we can see it.
No.
It's all just banned.
It's all banned.
All
It's
the media houses.
Yep. And I worked for the media in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah. And I got out before it got really bad. But yeah, it's just, he's sliding into communism. And if they don't get him
when is
out,
the next elections?
they're trying to get him out right now. And we're hoping, I mean, they've tried to get him to step down. He will not step down. So I think we're looking at October of 2025 before.
So who
he
is
can-
supposed to be the next PM?
There's a gentleman coming in behind him. He's Pierre Poilievre, incredible
Okay.
politician, and we're
So
hoping hopefully he can save Canada. That's all I can say. Yeah.
So how many years did you do in Canada in the media industry?
I was there 7 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
So I
which
was
city?
in, pardon?
Which city?
I was in Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah. So I was working in the media and then I did, some public relations. I was doing some movies, like stuff like that. So a lot of brand representation for companies.
I've never been to Canada. Maybe someday.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada is incredible. It has the most lakes of any country on the planet.
Oh.
It's the landscape, the nature is just.
So if I plan to do a road trip in the Canada, which parts do you want me to cover?
Go in the summer.
Some, wow, I mean, which months? This May, June.
I would go definitely, let's say May, June, July, August, September, like those months. I would see Vancouver, and just go right up the coast. Vancouver's amazing. I mean, Quebec is amazing. The east coast of Canada is amazing as well. A totally different feel to it, but beautiful.
Big.
Far apart.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Like
big.
it's cheaper to fly. If you live in Vancouver and let's say you want to go to the east coast of Canada, it's actually cheaper to fly Vancouver to London than it is to get to the east coast
Really?
of Canada. Yeah, they just
This way.
charge you. Like they just charge you so much money to even fly in your own country. Yeah.
And they keep on saying it's very cold. Is it really that bad?
Yes, it is that bad.
Can we still drive out and do
You
stuff?
can. I mean, yeah, you absolutely can. But I mean, you've got what, -45, -50 at some time.
But in Toronto, Vancouver, do they get those temperatures as well?
Not as dramatic. Toronto has humidity, kind of like we have humidity here, not as bad as we do. So that helps to mitigate the cold. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Got it. So was it a tough decision to leave the US? What were the biggest factors?
It was not a tough decision to leave the US at all. Yeah, because if you look at the lack of safety there, the crime, the taxation, there was
But-
just
Like a lot of people keep on saying about the safety. Like I have been to the US many times.
right.
I feel it's safe, but in the night, of course, it gets sketchy. Like in the San Francisco, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, I was there like few months back.
Okay.
In the evenings, I don't feel it very safe. But personally, I have not stayed there for like months. I just go there for like 10, 15 days.
Right.
But I keep on hearing a lot of bad stories. Like it's not safe for the rich people. If you have a big car, if you're with a big fancy watch or something like
yeah.
that, it's not very safe. So what the worst can happen over there?
Well, I mean, you could potentially lose your life. I mean, when things were really bad and crime was out of control, especially in Los Angeles, they were, let's say in Beverly Hills, there's a restaurant that's on one of the corners. And they were literally like pulling up in cars with guns and shooting at people, taking their watches, taking their purses. I mean, there is so much stuff on TikTok. If you just go down that rabbit hole and start looking for crime in San Francisco, crime in Los Angeles, New York, same thing. It's just not safe at all.
Okay.
And as a woman, you are not safe.
Like in India, we believe women are not safe, but even in the US, if you say so.
Yeah, like Yeah. I mean, here, the safety is unparalleled.
Unparalleled.
I
Yeah, of course.
never have to worry,
Mm.
ever. I never lock my car. I do lock my apartment. I literally will go to the mall, set my computer, my phone, my purse, which is full of money,
Yeah.
you know, your Emirates ID,
Yeah.
everything is in there, and go to the bathroom and come back, and it's all just there.
It's always there. Yeah.
And there's so many people around. There's
Yeah.
and all the servers and everything, and nothing is touched.
No one.
Yeah.
Dubai basically spoils you.
It's so funny. And my girlfriend who lives downstairs in my building, I had to go into her apartment. She never locks her door. And I had to go into her apartment. She goes, "Oh, can you go check on something? Da, 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 da. I'm at work." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I walked in and she had cleaners come in, and she had a bunch of jewelry, like rings and bracelets and everything, just sitting on a counter, not touched. They're all just sitting there.
That's Dubai.
That's Dubai.
That's Dubai.
I mean, incredible, right?
And what surprised you the most when you first moved to Dubai?
What surprised me the most when I first moved to Dubai is the architecture, how friendly and helpful people are, because it's very intimidating, honestly, because you're moving to a very multicultural
Yes.
city, and which I'm not used to. So you feel, is it okay? Like, can I talk to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt intimidated, and people were so helpful. And still today, I mean, the people are so helpful. I remember being in an elevator when I first moved here, and I had my backpack and it was so heavy. And there was a young girl standing beside me. She was Russian, and she literally grabbed my backpack and helped me hold it.
Wow.
And I went,
Cute.
she's like, "It's so, you know, in a Russian accent, I can't do that." But she goes, it's so, I can see let me help you. Like, I can see you're struggling. And I went, "You're so nice." Like, what? I don't know you. Like, why are you helping me? She literally helped me all the way down the elevator.
Wow.
And she's like, "Can I help you to your car?" I'm like, "I'm okay." It was the sweetest thing. Like, just stuff like that has happened over and over again. Even getting my new trade license for my company. And I was out in Old Dubai.
Old Dubai.
I'm lost. Waze doesn't work. I mean, I didn't know where I was. I finally pulled over. I did find the right building. I ended up at the wrong building. And I went and asked, and everybody said, "Oh, no, you've got to walk down this way, like go 3 buildings down." And I kept looking at the guy going, "I can walk there?" He goes, "Yes, you can walk there." I go, "It's okay for me to walk there," because in LA, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, wow.
Right? Why would I walk down there? There's no way. I would feel so scared and unsafe to do that. So I kept saying to him, "It's okay if I walk there." Yes. I think he thought I was like retarded or something, because it's like, "Yes, you're okay to walk there. Go ahead.
Just walk.
Just walk."
Just walk.
Yeah.
And what exactly do you do here in Dubai?
I just started my own real estate brokerage. So I'm super excited about that.
Just like less than 1 year.
Yeah,
moved in,
just
right?
I'm in setup mode. I do have several agents on board with me already. But yeah, we're in total setup mode, and I'm super excited.
And were you doing exactly the same work in the US as well?
I was, yeah, from media, I went into real estate. I took a break, and then I did go into real estate. So I was 6 years doing real estate in Palm Springs
Okay.
and Los Angeles.
And US real estate is crazy. Like the figures I keep on seeing, it's very big.
Yeah, when you're at that sort of high-end level, I mean, it's crazy.
Because Los Angeles is
But
expensive.
again, the agents that work at that level, right? You've got to pay marketing, you've got taxes, you've got your fees to the regulatory body.
But that's only happens when you make a sale.
When you make a sale, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, you might get a big paycheck and then you lose half of it.
Half of it.
Yeah, at
Half of
least.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because if you're saying 49% taxes, it's huge.
Yeah,
How
but
much?
here you get to keep it all.
Here. Just spend the rest on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
Marketing or whatever it is.
and traffic fines.
Yeah, traffic fines. I just got a fine of 50,000 dirhams.
What?
50,000. That's a separate story I have to tell you.
Okay, yeah, I want to know. I want to know. Okay, I hope that never happens to me.
Then what are the major differences between the life in the US and Dubai?
The basic difference between the life in North America and Dubai, there is just no comparison. I mean, the level of convenience and safety and
US is also convenient anyways. Big cities. not-
yeah, it is, but you can't get the level of service,
Yes, that's for sure.
right? I mean, if something goes wrong in my apartment, someone is there.
Yes.
Or I can order gas on an app and they'll come fill up my car. They'll wash my car. They'll change my tires. They'll do an oil change. I never have to leave my apartment. You can't get that in the US. I can get a doctor to my apartment within half an hour. And I thought that was a joke. I mean, I literally, I needed to see a doctor. And then somebody said to me, just go on the app and get a doctor to your apartment. What's your problem? And I went, what? What do you mean I can have a doctor come to my apartment? How does that work? Sure enough, a doctor and a physician's assistant showed up at my apartment within 30 minutes. I've got IVs. I'm getting all this tests. I'm like, okay, great. You can never get that in the US.
Yes.
And it would probably cost like $10,000. I mean, I don't know. I mean, here it's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
We're very spoiled.
And do you miss anything from your American lifestyle? What's the top of the list?
What I miss about North America is the green space. Yeah, trees, lots of places to walk, lots of grass. Like I do miss that. I do also miss being able to get in a car and drive and just be kind of out in nature.
Just drive, yes.
Just drive.
Just drive,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I can drive up and down Sheikh Zayed, but that costs me money for starters. And I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at pretty buildings.
Yeah,
right?
just big buildings.
Just big buildings.
Just big buildings.
But yeah, that's definitely what
whenever I get bored, that's what I do. I just get the tickets for Europe or US, go drive. That's all. Stay in with the greens, stay with the nature, mountains, just drive, nothing else.
I know. I miss that, right? I miss being able to get in the car and drive to Orange County.
Oh,
and just, I mean, yeah, you got.
There's so many good roads. Santa Barbara, and the other side is what is the name? Santa Monica.
Yes.
So many good roads to drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But here, of course, it's just like you have to drive within Dubai for all of the work.
I know. Yeah.
So do you go keep going to the US? Like you have tried?
I have not been back to the US yet.
Not yet?
No, I will go when the winter ends here. So I'll go in like May.
California?
Yeah, I'll go back to California.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one thing which you don't like about Dubai, what would it be?
Okay, could they please put up some road signs?
Road signs, they have it all.
No, they don't. Like even driving. Okay, have you ever been to Albarari?
Albarari, no. No, that's a new area.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're driving along, and I was texting my friend, and I go, like, am I driving to Saudi Arabia? I don't know. I don't know where I am. And then all of a sudden it just says, oh, turn to the right, turn to the right. And I'm looking right where I'm going into trees. There's no signs. And then all of a sudden you've got to take this little path. And then you end up in this amazing community, which is Albarari, which is very much like Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's so tropical and lush. What they built out there is just incredible. The homes are amazing. But we need more street signs because you're driving along and you're going, okay, Waze is telling me where to go, but I see no sign for it.
Maybe that's just for the new areas because Dubai, it's very convenient. Like all of those roads are marked, even the roads which they're building, the new roads.
Yeah.
All of them have got the road signs. Maybe just for the new areas.
Yeah.
They're just coming up. They're building the road signs.
And I get lost.
Where, like, how much time did it take for you to take the driving license? But for the US, I believe it's just
It's automatic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so easy for you.
I know.
For us, it's very long.
I
We
know.
have to do like 20 hours, 10 hours of driving tests, give exams. People even fail, spend a lot of money.
I'm so sorry.
So much. How much did you pay for the driving license?
I think it was 1,100 dirhams.
1,100, that's all?
That's it.
Okay. I did not fail in my exams.
Good.
It was on my first attempt itself. I spent 20,000 or something.
I'm so sorry.
For my car license, car driving license. For the bike again, it was 15,000 dirhams. So it's different, separate for the motorcycle and separate for the car again.
Yeah.
Very expensive, Albert.
Fair.
For you, it's easy.
Yeah, I know. I just went in and they switched
That's
it.
all. This is it?
Yeah.
Wow. So why do you think so many Americans and Canadians are moving to Dubai? What can be the big reasons?
The taxation is the biggest one, and the convenience of Dubai and the safety of Dubai.
Main reasons.
Yeah, I mean, but financially, I have a girlfriend actually from Canada who's moving her, she has an online business and e-commerce. And
In Canada?
In Canada.
Okay.
And she's going to move that to Dubai.
Move the business as well?
Yeah.
What is it about?
She does a hair extension business.
Okay, that can be moved.
Yeah, and that's easy.
Maybe can be done in global drop shipping as well. Can be.
Yeah, exactly. It's dead easy.
Save a ton of money.
Yeah, why pay Canadian taxes when you can pay 9% plus 5% VAT?
And 9% is also on a lot. Like until and unless you are making more than 375k dirhams profit, There is no corporate tax again.
I know.
Huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I've talked to a number of people who want to move their businesses to Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can recommend us because I have a team who helps people just to set up the business.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And how easy is it to like set up a business for the Americans or Canadians? Here, like I understand like US has some rules. If you're setting up a business in outside US, you have to report them to some. There is some rules, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are. I know because
Was it easy for you?
yeah, there were no impediments to me setting up a business here. It's just I know I have to report every year what I'm earning,
Okay.
and the US government will take 30% tax on the first 130,000 US dollars.
30% of the first 130,000.
Sorry, after the first 130,
Okay.
then they'll take 30%.
Whatever you make.
Right. Because
Still high.
it is still high.
Still high.
It is still high.
Oh.
So
Okay, so if you are making like $1 million, like for 900 you have to pay 30.
yeah,
That's like 300K goes on the tax.
yeah,
Wow. Maybe that's the reason why Americans don't move out of the US
yeah. I know.
too much.
Yeah.
And do you think Dubai has become the new global hub for business and luxury living?
Absolutely. Dubai definitely is the new global hub.
So do you keep on meeting a lot of people as well?
Oh, yes. Everywhere I go. I mean, you're meeting people from Europe, North America.
Europe I see a lot.
Yes, so many Europeans. I was just at one of the developers yesterday, and I did ask him, I said, who are your top clients right now? And he said, it's German, French, still Russian, Chinese, Indian, Pakistan.
But Canadians and US, do you think they're also moving?
They are at a slower pace. Unfortunately, North America is very driven by the media.
Okay.
And the fake news that has been allowed to sort of seep into that. And they need to be educated because even for me, when I was moving here, it was my brother who convinced me to move to Dubai because he saw a video on TikTok. And he said it was a woman who moved from the UK to Dubai to start life over. And he said, that's where you're going. And I said, okay, first of all, you know, Dubai is in the Middle East for starters. And he goes, yeah. He goes, but you need to research this and study it because I'm telling you that's where you need to be. And I did. And hence now we're sitting together.
But did you visit Dubai before?
Nope.
It was a first trip itself?
First trip. Never been here before. Didn't know a soul.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew one woman that I went and had lunch with. She was in Newport Beach, California. She's lived in Dubai for 20 years. And then another friend connected me to another woman who's lived in Dubai for 7 years. And she was telling, both of them told me what it's like to live in Dubai. And then I just made my decision from there and booked the ticket and here I am.
Oh, very courageous.
But I didn't know anybody else. Like that was it. I came and I started working in real estate here and, you know, started to make my way in my life.
All alone.
All alone.
All alone.
All alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are Americans you meet here mostly expats or they're fully settling down here?
No, they're expats.
So just stays. So
Yeah.
what do the US passports say? Like, can you move into some other country permanently or how does it happen?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can move. I mean, obviously Dubai is different because you've got to have that visa. So a golden visa is what most Americans get.
Okay.
Then they've got that 10-year visa. That's then they can live here permanently.
Yeah.
They got to renew it. But no, they'll always be US passport holders. That will be their passport.
Yeah.
And same for Canadian citizens as well. Like there are Canadians coming over, getting the golden visa, and still hold that Canadian passport.
And US taxes, citizens, no matter where they live. How do expats handle this? The double tax treaty thing, what do you say?
Yeah, you have to file every year with the IRS. You've got to have your accountant back in the US, make sure that.
So even if you are a small time business or someone who is working freelancing, do they still have to go through all this process?
Yes, because the US has global taxation. So they tax on your income wherever you live. Like if you live in Iceland and are making money, you still have to pay tax back to the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to do the account.
You have to
need
do
to
it.
hire someone do that.
And if you don't, you know, and then you decide to make a trip back to the US and you're in trouble with the IRS, you know, you could get stopped at the airport, denied entry, all of that.
Okay. So it's every year it's the same process
Yeah.
to go through.
Just to file with the IRS, pay your taxes, and stay
Is
out of
it all
trouble.
online?
You can. I mean, there are certain platforms that you can go through to file your own taxes, but if it's more complicated, if you're making a lot of money, if you do have a business, you need an accountant.
Need an account.
Yeah, just let them do it.
Okay. So without even going to the US, you can do everything from here.
Yeah.
Don't
Because
have-
I filed mine.
Okay.
Yeah, he did everything, and we just did it by email. And
Okay, that's all. No need to be physically present over there.
nope, not at all.
Okay. So there is no way to like get out of this double tax thing.
No.
You have a US visa, you have to pay.
Yep. If you have a U.S. passport and you're a U.S. citizen, you have to pay. The only way around that is to give up your U.S. citizenship. But then where do Dubai doesn't give out
passports.
right.
Yeah.
So you'd have to get passport from a European country, and then you're subject to their taxation laws.
Their taxation laws.
Right.
But at least European countries don't have a double tax treaty.
No.
They don't have. Only US. Canada also, I don't think so. Canadians have.
Canada does not tax on worldwide income.
But your passport is Canadian.
Yes.
So you don't have to pay in the
I
UK.
do not. I
You
do
don't
not
have
have to pay in Canada, but I have to for the U.S.
Have to pay? How?
I have to because I'm a permanent resident of the U.S. I have a social security number in the U.S.
So what if you cancel it?
I can walk away from it, which I probably most likely will do.
Yeah.
Just haven't made that decision yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So even if let's say if I'm from India, I have an Indian passport. If I become a permanent resident of US,
Yep.
and I'm making money here in Dubai,
Right.
so you still have to pay the taxes in the US?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So double ways.
Yeah.
So if you have a US visa or permanent resident, you still have to pay the
You
tax.
still have to pay.
And it's flat, like 30% after 130.
It's correct. That is the fee.
After 130. If
After-
anyone is making less than 130,
Then they won't tax it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 130 is still a good value.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. So anyone who is a small time freelancer or doing stuff, they don't have to pay the tax, but still have to file.
You still have to
You
file.
still have to file and make them show that, okay, I'm making less than 130. That's the reason I don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a complex process, but everyone has to go through.
It is. It's very complex.
Do you see any Americans giving up their US citizenship to move to Dubai?
No.
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 I-
Any American that I've met here or Canadian, they still hold their passport.
So
But they
do they
just live
talk
here.
about other options like we're tired of paying the taxes and we have to look for other passports or something like that?
They complain about it. I mean, they'll really complain about it, but then they'll come to Dubai, spend the winter, and then they go back to the US or they go back to Canada because they're in a financial position to do that.
Okay.
Right? So they do have their golden visas. They do own property in Dubai or multiple properties in Dubai, investments besides their own personal property. And then as soon as winter's over, they go back.
Okay, that is actually good. So if you have a home back in US or Canada and one in Dubai,
Yes.
you can spend the summers
Yes.
over there.
It's
very-
perfect. You
yeah.
just have to pay the tax.
You just have to pay the tax, yeah. And what are the other options for them?
What are the other
Like if they have
options?
to skip the swap the passport and give up the US citizenship, only Europe.
Only Europe.
And is it easy?
You know, it's not. I had a girlfriend from Toronto who moved to Italy. She's been there, I think, 8 months.
Okay.
And she has spent a lot of time talking on her social media about how the immigration process is not that
Not
easy.
that good.
No.
Or not that easy.
Yeah. So she loves Italy. She's happy there and all of that, but it was not easy. Whereas
Not straightforward.
no, whereas me moving to Dubai,
Hmm.
I mean, you get a job and then your job gives you your visa. And then now because I own my own company, I have an investor visa. So now I'm under my own control.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. And I will have to renew that every 2 years.
Yeah, that's what. That's a very easy process.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. It doesn't even take time.
It's so easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
And for those Americans who are moving here to Dubai, they're anyways getting taxed in the US. And again, if they have a business here, they have to just pay the corporate tax. So does it make any sense for them to move their business from US to Dubai?
It does. Because even if they leave the country, I mean, everybody works remotely and they would have people here potentially working for them or helping them. Or
But they're anyways paying the taxes. So what is the point of moving the business?
the taxation will be less. So then they'll be taxed at 9% and plus the 5% as opposed to like 49%. If you own, let's say, a coffee company and your coffee company is based in LA, and then you go, okay, I'm pulling that out, I'm moving it to Dubai. So now that coffee company will be run from Dubai. So you're paying the Dubai taxes. So whatever, and then let's say you make $1 million dirhams profit, whatever that works out to for US dollars.
30%.
Yeah. Then you have to pay the 30% to
Still
California.
10 to 15% you're saving.
Yeah. But there's also ways, I mean, accountants are creative. There's also ways to mitigate and get around.
But US always makes sure to keep it complex. At least people don't move out.
Right. But you definitely just have to file every year. Like you can't just say, oh, I'm not filing my taxes. Yeah.
Do you ever feel homesick for California, the US in general?
I do feel homesick a little bit. And again, it goes back to the green spaces, getting in the car and driving. Just
And family and friends, most of them would be over there, of course.
Everyone's over there. So when I'm going to bed, they're all waking up, and then then we start talking.
Time zone.
So I get used. I'm used to that now.
So do you have any family or friends over here in the Dubai?
I have friends that I've met here. I've met some great people in Dubai. But my close, they're all
families all in
on the other side of the world.
So do you always keep on saying them the good things about Dubai?
Of course. Yeah, they're very envious, trust me. Yeah,
how can it be so safe?
I know. They don't
they don't choose.
They don't understand. I said, "No, this is legit. I mean, this is Dubai." It's crazy.
And how is the social life in Dubai compared to America? Are people more welcoming here or over there?
People are definitely more welcoming here. And the fact that everything is open. There's so many places to go. There's so many clubs. There's so many restaurants. There's so many coffee shops. And everything happens late. I mean, if you go down to the Dubai Mall, they're open till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then one night I was out with my girlfriend, and then I drove her back to her place downtown, and it was 3 a.m. And we drove by one of the cafes, and it's full. 3 a.m.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? I mean, you would never see that anywhere else, right? And it's just
Europe closes very early.
Yeah. And people are just out enjoying. It's a very late culture here in general. And yeah, there's never a lack of something to do here.
Yeah, perfect. Do you see Dubai as a permanent base, or do you plan to move back to the US eventually?
I do not plan to move back to North America.
Oh, wow. Why?
No. How could you leave this? Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
already spoiled.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll move to Abu Dhabi, but that would be it, honestly. Like, I love Dubai.
Everyone does.
I mean, you can't beat it.
And what trends do you see for Americans and Canadians moving to Dubai in the next 5 years?
I think...
Because now, if you see, not a lot of Americans actually move.
Yeah.
Maybe just because you said there is a media thing is done, fake news and all those stuff.
Yes.
So, do you think going forward, we would be seeing a lot of Americans and Canadians moving as well?
I mean, it's hard to predict, but I would say over the next 5 years, I mean, the U.S. is going to improve now that Trump is in power. Yeah. But then once he's gone, who's going to come in behind him? That's the problem. And I think just the lack of safety that exists, the high cost of living, the lack of housing, the lack of employment, unless that really shifts somehow, people are going to look for other options. Yeah.
Difficult. And in the US, there is gun laws. There is no gun law or something like that, right? Like people are allowed to have guns at their home.
Yes.
Is it still allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how come there has been so many government changes? How come they don't remove this? Because that is why I think the safety is the biggest concern, because everyone is allowed to have a gun.
I had a gun.
Oh, you had it?
I did. Yeah. My former husband, he had a concealed carry. So that's a permit that you have to have. Okay. So you can carry a gun on you. And honestly, it's a nice thing to have.
Oh, really?
So when we would go into Los Angeles, we always had the gun with us. Because you don't know. You don't know who's coming at you.
That's scary.
It's that scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to someone considering moving from the US or Canada to Dubai?
My advice to someone moving from the US or Canada would be just do it.
Just do it.
Just like the Nike slogan, just do it. Pack up your life and move here.
Is it easy to pack up your life and just move?
No, I mean it's not easy. It's traumatic. I mean, it's a big life shift. You're moving, from California, 12,000 miles away to the other side of the world, to the Middle East, right? There's all this conflict around us,
Yeah.
but we're in a bubble. Dubai is not the rest of the world. And if you really want an incredible quality of life, and especially for people who have children, the education here, and I mean, a lot of my girlfriends have kids, and I just hear what goes on. Children are allowed to be children. The safety. There's one woman selling her home in Damac Hills,
Okay.
and so the first time I met her, she has 2 kids, and there was a park behind her home, and she goes, "Oh yeah, the kids come home from school, and they run out, and they're in the park with their friends and riding their bikes and doing all this stuff, and then there's a mall right across the way, and they'll walk and get ice cream." And I just kind of looked at her and went, "What? What do you mean? That you're not out there with them? Like they're walking to the mall by themselves?" She goes, "Yeah, they'll come home when they're hungry eventually, like when dinner's on the table, right?" And I went, "How is that possible? You would never do that. Like your kids would be gone in 2 seconds. Like you don't
get to see them.
No, like even when I'm in the mall, I'll see, everyone has a nanny and all of that, but you'll see kids running around and I'm looking like, okay, where's the nanny? Where's the parent? And they're just wandering around and I'm thinking, US, gone,
Gone.
100%.
But people keep on saying like the education in US is very good.
Yeah, US education is good. But just from what I've heard from my girlfriends who have children, it's better here.
Better here?
Better here.
Really?
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, yes.
It's all private.
Very, very expensive.
But from what they tell me, it's better.
The
here.
US, is it free?
Yeah, public school is free. I mean, you pay for that with your taxes, right?
Okay.
As a homeowner,
Okay.
you pay for that with your taxes to support your school district.
Okay.
But yeah, unless you're in a private school, then yeah, it's
In Canada, healthcare is free.
again,
In the US, is it free?
no.
Free.
It's
very expensive.
It's
actually.
very expensive, and what you get for it, what you get for your dollar in the U.S. for healthcare is not worth it, and they deny claims all the time.
Oh, insurance.
Yeah,
So even if you pay so big insurance
Yeah.
bills.
and they just deny. I mean, that's what's happening with that guy that shot the head of.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very sad. And in Canada, yes, it's free, but again, they're denying claims. They're not helping people. They're not giving you the service that you need. Free healthcare works fantastic, but again, you do pay a certain amount for it. Let's say you get into a car accident or you need to have an emergency appendectomy or you break your arm or whatever, then it works because then you'll be seen quickly. But other than that, like my brother in Canada had to have his gallbladder removed. It was getting to the point where it was an emergency and they couldn't get a surgeon for him for 3 days. So he was laying in a hospital bed
That's bad.
with morphine in his arm to
Oh,
help,
God.
the pain for 3 days waiting for a surgeon.
That's bad.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's the same. Like no matter even if you're a Canadian citizen or an immigrant, it's all the same for
all the
of them.
same. It's all the same.
Not that good then.
It's not that good. Here, the healthcare, it's healthcare is not cheap here as
Yeah.
well. But comparatively, even paying out of pocket is way less expensive.
Then the US for sure.
Yeah.
US is very expensive. I've heard.
Right. Like if I wanted to go get an MRI on my knee this afternoon, I would just go do that.
Yes.
And
And get it done immediately.
Yeah, I could go on the app,
Mhm.
book the appointment, and say, "Hey, 2:00, can I come get an MRI for my
Book
knee? It
done.
hurts," and it's done. And it's probably what $500 to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, what
In
would
the
that?
US, how much it would be?
Oh, like 3, 4, 5 grand
Oh, wow. Just for an MRI.
just for an MRI.
Wow.
Yeah. It's insane.
And on the top, you're again spending a lot of money in the insurance,
Yeah,
health insurance.
yeah. I mean, and you get absolutely nothing for it. Like you can pay up to $2,500, $3,000 a month, let's say for a family of 4. And what are you getting for that? For that insurance?
Too much.
It's too much.
Extremely too much.
Yeah.
And about the real estate,
Yes.
US versus Dubai, what do you feel?
I would buy real estate in Dubai any day.
Any day? Why?
Any day. And not just because I'm in it, but since moving here a year ago, I mean, the market, I've seen what's happened in a year.
Of course, yeah.
Even the cost of rent
Hmm.
has increased, right?
Yeah.
The world is moving to Dubai.
Hmm.
And it is no longer, I've said this before, it is no longer the American dream. It is the Dubai dream.
Dubai dream, yeah.
It is. And people, more and more people are coming because of what is happening in the world.
It's very expensive. Like if we compare the rentals, Los Angeles versus Dubai, Los Angeles, I think, is more expensive.
Oh, yeah. Like let's say if you're in an area called Silver Lake, that is kind of on the edge of Beverly Hills, like around there. Like a 1-bedroom, $6,000 a month US, $8,000 a month US. And then you've got all your utilities on top of that. Then you walk out your front door and there's homeless people, there's crack pipes, there's garbage, yeah. I mean,
Not worth it.
no, my friend lives in Silver Lake and he goes to the local supermarket to get his Starbucks or whatever. And every day he goes, there is a car and they're literally selling drugs in the parking lot.
Oh, God.
And the security guy's standing at the door.
That's
And every day he sends me little videos. Oh, look what they're doing today. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
happening.
Yeah.
So if you see this big house in the Los Angeles, what would be a rent, monthly rent?
It depends what the area is. I mean,
Palm Springs, let's say Palm Springs.
let's say Palm Springs to rent a house. Minimum would be $8,000 a month, depending, and then you go up from there like 12, 15, 20,
For
depending.
two bedrooms.
Yeah.
And if like 4 to 5 bedrooms,
4 to 5 bedrooms, you're looking at, oh God, at least 20,000.
20,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very expensive.
I mean, yeah, you might have a pool in your backyard
Yeah.
and yes, it will be nice and all of that. But then you've got your taxation. You definitely would be inside a gated community. But even in the gated communities where I lived, cars get stolen, homes get broken
inside the
into.
gated community.
Yep. Yep. Cars stolen right out of the driveway, homes broken into. Friends of ours live in a very posh neighborhood right in downtown Palm Springs, but they leave for the summer when it gets hot. And there were homeless people living in their backyard, like using their outdoor showers, sleeping on their patio furniture. Oh, yeah. And they only caught them because of cameras.
Cameras.
And then they had to have the police come. And I mean,
like only good thing about the US is like you get a lot of space. If you buy a house, you get a huge space, backyard and all this stuff.
you do.
Here at least you don't get that in Dubai.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only best thing. Like my sister-in-law, I believe she bought a house and they've got like the house was like if 1x, the space they've got is 5x.
Nice.
Huge space, pool, backyard,
Yeah.
like lawn, big lawn, all the space for because the US is big again.
Yeah.
So that's what it is good about that space. But here, if you only get the house,
Yeah.
you don't get a lot of space.
I know.
Again,
Where's your sister?
she is near Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
she's been there for like 20, 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
it's really long. She has a US passport. Whole family is having the passport.
Um,
They're citizens. They don't even come to the India anymore.
yeah.
She was just here in Dubai for 2-3 days. She was telling me about the whole story. So I was
Nice.
asking her like, in case if we want to move to the US because we have heard like the education is very good in the US.
Yeah.
Because in case if I have to put my son in the US, any of the universities, they're not going to allow me and my wife to stay over there. We will be more like tourists.
Oh,
We cannot stay there for the lifetime.
wow.
If my son is studying,
Okay.
then we can be only there for like 3 months. And it's not like we would have to go, then come back for 2 days, back to Dubai, then again go back. The immigration is going to ask you again, why are you coming again and again? What are you going to do here?
Yes.
So they're going to keep on asking. So I was just checking, what are my options? If I need a US green card or a passport, something like this, they said, why do you need that? You're already in Dubai. You're saving on the taxes.
Yeah.
You are already in a good place.
Yeah.
Don't come to the US. US is already like freaked out now. Again, on the top, you have to pay the taxes. It's not very safe. You cannot have all those big cars over there. Cars, you forget about having all those stuff.
No.
So you were saying it's not very safe. What you see on the internet, it's not what exactly is.
No.
So I've been there many times, but I stay there for I keep on driving. I keep on driving through all those states. I've done Oregon, Colorado, Arizona, Utah, all those road trips I've done.
Beautiful.
So, but I stay there for 10, 15 days. Maybe someone who would be spending there for months would be able to know what exactly is wrong with the country in case.
Yeah.
So that's what she was saying. If you're already at a good place, don't think about moving somewhere else.
No.
Don't make assumptions. You're already in a good place. If you really want to move for the mountains or nature, just go do a trip, come back home.
Exactly.
Come back home. Don't start spending money on trying to go for one more citizens. You are already having a good Indian passport is fair enough. It's good. Stay in Dubai. You already have a golden visa. Stay in Dubai. Enjoy. Whenever you need fresh air, go to the Europe or US and then come back. That's all. And about the real estate pricing.
Yeah.
Pricing, buying a house or apartment. Rentals we have talked about the buying. So how is the pricing as compared to the US and Dubai? Let's say a studio apartment.
A studio apartment, well, if you're in Los Angeles, you're looking at $1 million plus easily.
Studio?
Yeah, $1 million US.
Wow.
Yeah, depending on where you are, what area. I mean, here, there's just no comparison.
250K?
Yeah.
300.
Yeah, like 300,000, let's say
dollars.
US dollars. And then plus, all the conveniences that would be in your building that you wouldn't have in LA. The safety, all of that goes with it. I just wouldn't put my money in North America. No, I just wouldn't.
And is it easy to sell in US real estate?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot easier than here. It's more professional in a way because if you're my client, you and I sign an exclusive agreement. We can do exclusive agreements here in Dubai as well.
Okay.
But it's definitely not a system where, where in Dubai we can have up to 3 agents represent a client.
Okay. So is it something like that in Dubai?
In Dubai, you can have up to 3 agents.
So it's like someone is trying to sell this house.
Right.
I can be talking to 3 different agents about this one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can sign an exclusive agreement and then any other agent that tries to come in,
Not allowed.
you can just say, no, I'm working with Grayson and that's it. Whereas in the US, it's definitely you and I are working one-to-one. That's it.
Okay.
We sign it
all the time.
all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
We sign an exclusive agreement and that's it.
And
then I have 6 months. We have a 6-month contract.
Okay.
And I'm either going to help you as a buyer or help you as a seller. And if we don't get along for whatever reason, you can fire me. That's fine. And you can go work with somebody else. But you can't just be working with me and then 2 other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing then.
Yeah, it is a good thing. And I wish it would honestly come here. It would just settle the market down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it easier to buy over there? Like people used to get easier loans and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you have proof of funds and if you have a job and you're going for a mortgage, it's all about your credit score. And yeah, it's fairly easy. I mean, you can get approved for funds usually within a week to 10 days to get a mortgage. I would never work with a potential buyer unless they had pre-approved mortgage. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. And same here in Dubai. If somebody,
So do you get to check if they're eligible for the mortgage?
I don't. That goes to the mortgage company or the bank.
Okay.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with that. Real estate agents stay out of that. That's the bank's issue.
Okay.
But it's the same in Dubai. Like if I had a girlfriend who wanted to buy an apartment here and I said, okay, you're doing a mortgage. And she said, yes. And I said, okay, you need to talk to your bank or I can recommend some brokers for you. Have those conversations, get pre-approved. Then we're going to go look for a place. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
But Dubai is easier to buy again because anyone who has money, they will just go in and make the payment. Now, I think the rules are a bit strict. Like some AML is coming into place. They're checking about the AML. Like even if earlier back till maybe last year, it was very easy. Anyone can pay by crypto, cash, and they don't even check anything. But now I believe there is some changes in the law.
Yes. For my own company, I had to get AML certified, anti-money laundering certified. So that's a piece of
software. What does it do exactly?
That allows me to check to see what the background is of my client.
Okay.
Are they on any sort of gray list? Have they a criminal record? You know, what is the source of their funds? And then also, you know, we do other checks as well. You just get on the Google and start looking at LinkedIn and yeah, you do. Like you really have to do that. And we would do that in the US as well. You know, Mr. Jones comes along and says, "Oh, hey, I want to buy this multi-million-dollar mansion." And I, you know, get their name and I start researching.
So that's a manual work.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know who you're working with, right? And anybody that isn't going to give up that information, you have to ask why.
Okay.
Why do you not want to share this information? And certainly during COVID, real estate agents were still working because we were a necessity and we had to sign COVID forms for everything. But let's say you wanted to buy a property and I'm your agent. So I need to absolutely see your proof of funds. And that can be a screenshot from your stocks or your checking account, whatever, before they would even let us onto the property for viewing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that strict.
In the US.
In the US, yeah.
Okay.
Those laws have relaxed now. But even if you want to see, let's say...
Just to see, go see.
Just to see.
Okay.
We can't even get in there to view physically if I don't have proof of funds.
So you need to be really knowing that, okay, this is someone who is able to buy, make the payment.
Yeah. Here's your name. Here's your address. Here's the email. I look at your social media. I mean, all of that comes into play now. And it's the same here in Dubai. I mean, you have to know who you're working with, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they check? In Dubai, I don't believe they ask for anything. They just like ask for the Emirates ID and ask you, okay, get the cash ready, come over to our office, make the payment. In Dubai, do they have a process to do a background check?
We will do background checks for sure.
Okay.
And then, like I say, we've got the AML set up.
So AML software is like what? You put on the name and it automatically scans through worldwide.
Yeah.
And gives you the full report. And that's all. And that's when you are knowing that, okay, this guy is legit.
Yeah.
Then maybe just go ahead and, okay.
But it's good just to do your own due diligence as well, right? I mean, I think anybody that you're going into business with, whether you own a hair salon and you're going to get a new distributor of a certain product, I want to know who I'm working with. Like,
of course,
what's your track record? What other businesses are you working with? You know what I mean? It's just about being a good business person.
Easier to.
Yeah.
And do you feel it's easier to do the real estate sales here in Dubai versus US?
I think they're comparable. I mean, in the
Where
US,
do you get more leads, here or in the US?
Definitely you can get more lead gen here.
Dubai.
Because everybody's moving to Dubai, right? I mean...
Then how is the conversion, do you feel? Like, let's say if you're getting like 20 calls. Out of 20 calls, how many are actual potential clients?
I would say a good 2 to 3.
2 to 3. Okay.
I mean...
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean... It just depends, but it's easier to do lead gen here. It's easier. People are paying attention to social media. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. The US, I don't know. It's not as social driven. Unless you're a big name like a Ryan Serhant or, you know, some of the big brokers in LA and New York, that type of thing.
Yeah, in Dubai, it's like no matter even if you're big or small, if you're doing good work and good content, then everyone is going to follow you. They're going to see the story and they will get in touch.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you love most about America and Canada that Dubai could never replace? The weather, I believe.
The nature. Yeah, I really do.
And what's the one thing you wish US would learn from Dubai?
Oh, that it is incredible. And it's not, we're in the Middle East, but we're not in the Middle East. I get when you look on a map and you see where we are and then you look at what's around us, you go, oh,
wow.
Alrighty then. Honestly, I just had a friend come visit from Tennessee and come to Dubai.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was just blown away by it because he said, if Americans really understood what is here, everyone would be coming in droves.
Yeah.
But they don't get it.
Yeah.
Because there's just not enough press. There's not enough media and everyone's watching all this stuff at home and hearing about all the conflict going around us. But at the end of the day, Dubai is run like a very successful business.
Yeah.
And Sheikh Mohammed is the head of the corporation. And they're not going to let anything bad happen to Dubai.
Yeah, that's what. All the time.
It is a business.
Yeah. And if you could change one thing about Dubai, what would it be?
Oh, one thing I want to change about Dubai. Can I have some more green space?
More green space.
But they are doing that.
Yeah. Already on the roads and all, if you see there's a lot of plants and all those, they're importing.
I know.
They're importing flowers, plants. If you go towards Sheikh Zayed, which were actually a lot of places, we are actually looking very like not very greens and all. Now it's like filled.
Yeah.
Greens, yellow, you feel like, oh, okay, why?
I know,
This is something
yeah.
else.
They're-
It doesn't even look like Dubai.
I know they're improving it. They're going to do all this walking and
Um,
cycling. And,
You are staying in farm, right?
yes,
The farm
yeah,
is anyways, it's very good and clean.
it is.
Clean, green.
Beautiful.
It feels more like, I would say, any of those US towns again.
Yeah, I
Same.
love the Palm. I mean, I knew if I was moving here, I wanted to look at the ocean.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and I wanted to be by the ocean.
That was the first.
Yes, that was a must. I can't. There's just something about coming home and just looking at the water. Yeah, it just makes me happy.
So what's the best thing about living in Dubai in one word?
Security.
Security, safety. And are you going to live in Dubai forever?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
I am here.
California or Dubai? Where is your dream house?
Dubai.
The one thing Americans get wrong about Dubai.
That it's scary because it's not.
And very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. And would you ever give up your Canadian passport?
I would never give up my Canadian passport.
Being an Canadian, what do you miss?
I miss nature. I do miss the nature of Canada.
Biggest thing.
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully, you got to learn something new. I personally got to learn a lot of new things about Canadian laws, US laws, how and why Canadians and Americans actually don't move to Dubai. Even if they do, what kind of complications do they have? What are the pros? What are the cons? And why recently a lot of people are moving? I got to learn a lot of stuff. So, if you have got any question, let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's what. I will see you guys in the new video.